Fortnite Season 2 has just dropped, and all the new changes are absolutely insane. From mythics to the return of the last reality, here's everything you need to know about Fortnite Season 2 explained. When you first open up your game, you'll be greeted with an awesome cinematic trailer, but it's very confusing at a first glance. We left the last season with one rift in the sky, and now we have about 20, and there's Japanese buildings coming down from them left, right, and center. But why is that? Well, the mega city that we see rifting onto the island is one of many new Japanese themed locations this season, and it's actually home to the character Evie, who works for the Peace Syndicate. More on that later. This new biome or chunk of the island introduces upgraded versions of old vehicles, new mythics, and new versions of stuff we've seen before, further implying that futuristic theme for Season 2 is exactly what we're seeing here. Another thing I find quite interesting is the new type of weapon as well, the sword. This sword is called the Kinetic Blade, and it is made from the same ore as the Shockwave Hammer was. They feel quite similar gameplay wise, and they play a similar role in the loot pool, and that's entirely because they both use the island's kinetic ore, which the Paradigm gave to us at the start of last season's quests. The cold-blooded weapons have also all been unvaulted, and they can be found through hollow chests, as well as the henchmen of the Cold-Blooded Syndicate, which are back in Mega City alongside their vault, but weren't they a thing in the past? Well, not really. Earlier in the video, I mentioned a character named Evie, who works for the Peace Syndicate and also walks us through this season's story quests, which are likely to build up to an end-of-season live event to finish off Season 2, and we'll talk more about that later. The Mega City has been brought through to the island by a Saboteur of the Oathbound Riftgate, and in the short time that this futuristic world is away from its original spot, we need to take advantage of that and plan and strategize against this antagonist who's looking to start a war among all of the different syndicates. Is this Saboteur the same one that took control and changed the coordinates of the Riftgate? It might be, and we initially thought that this was Amy, as she said she was going through the Riftgate to save the scientist from the last reality. But the more I think about that, the less it makes sense. When testing the Riftgate last season, the other side of it always seemed somewhat corrupted and all messed up, implying it always led to a dark place of corruptive energy. Many people thought this was just because of the kinetic ore, and that stuff's got similar properties to the cubes, as well as the fact that it twists things towards their dark fate. So what if that place on the other side of the test rift was always leading towards the last reality? It'd make a lot of sense. We all assumed that Amy needed to sabotage the rift gate and change its course of travel, but if the gate was already allocated to the place that she needed to be in, Amy wouldn't even need to sabotage the rift gate, and as soon as it was online, she could go straight through it, as she said in the quests. Assuming she did go through to save the scientist and she actually got through, the Saboteur must have tried to stop that and then change the location of the Riftgate to the Mega City, but after Amy already went through the gate to the last reality. The questlines this season suggest that this Saboteur is working with the last reality. That is why they would have tried to prevent Amy from going and saving the scientist from the Chrome's dark fate. Now that we've got that all cleared up, why would this last reality member change the location of the Riftgate to the Mega City? Well, that's a simple answer. The Fortnite Island is a very vulnerable place. It attracts all types of things like random cubes and random furries with Foxland masks. And if this Saboteur is really dedicated to starting a war among the syndicates, bringing the city over to our island was definitely a good start. The Herald may still be here, and the stars in our atmosphere are swallowed by a darkness as we speak. So pulling this Peace Syndicate's entire city through our scars would not only startle them, but it'd also separate them from their valuable assets of war that could assist their progress against the last reality. Alongside that, it would also situate them somewhere that the last reality knows exactly how to get to. So this Saboteur is quite smart, they're dangerous, and now we need to figure out exactly who they are. A character on the new island called Triarch Nox is very suspicious when it comes to having ties with the last reality and the Nothing as well. He has the same rhombus type shape on his forehead as the Cube Queen and the Origin both have as part of their armor, and his dialogue says that he doesn't trust the Peace Syndicate terminals, and he also wants to take over the dark spaces between the light. Like, this sounds a hell of a lot like what the Foundation describes in the comics, the nothing beyond realities. It's kind of like a pocket dimension of an existence where nothing exists. It's a very cool concept, and I really like where Fortnite is going with this. Now, we've covered why everything is where it is, who caused it all, and what it might mean for the future of this story. So now let's talk live events, as I said in the earlier part of the video. At the near end of Chapter 4 Season 1, the community got an idea in their heads that for whatever reason, a live event to further the Oathbound story quest was going to take place. Obviously they were wrong because it didn't happen, and rushing into something as big as an event so quickly within a new era of the story, it's just kinda dumb and it doesn't work because, as we know, when Epic rush their events, they're more like 40-minute long creative game modes with a few blender animations at the start and the end, rather than a cinematic in-game experience which is actually rewarding and fun to be a part of. And no, I'm not speaking from any direct experience or whatever, by the way. So, now the question is, will this season have a live event? And I can tell you right now, yes. Yes, it probably 99%, very likely will. This season runs from the 10th of March until the 2nd of June, which is actually a Friday, and the last 2 live events have been on a Saturday, so go figure. We're getting an event at the end of this season, or at least that's what I would likely assume. And then from there, the next season drops, and it looks like a really fun summer season with a unique tree, and bowlers and roller coasters, but then it's actually really boring, and it's got awful story, and again, no, there's no direct references. I'm just speaking about a totally plausible outcome of the next Fortnite season, and there's nothing like that that's ever happened before that was really disappointing. Anyways, but seriously, Fortnite Season 2 is goddamn beautiful. The neon lights, the bosses, the rail grinding, the guns, the story, Eevee, all of it. It's just a very smart season release, and I'm very into it so far. Let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.